wasn't looking forward to this one, to be honest. Our guest is Mr. Chris Connolly.
Just keep little snide comments from Mark. Common misconception here that I dislike Carmo. I don't. He needs to learn that actions have consequences.
What's the one thing you look forward to the most?
I'd basically treat a WrestleCon like a zoo.
There's Goldberg. I'm gonna poke him.
Yeah, that one. Yeah, that they hate me now.
Very sorry to hear about your mother, of course.
You kill her?
No.
I'm not happy I'm not on this show. You tell me what I need to work on, and I'm gonna fucking bust my ass and work on it. I can't tell, right, if it's your internet is failing or you're just losing your gumptions. Riordan is thinking 2 or 3 steps ahead of everyone else.
I am your host, as always, Mr. Martin 115, joined by my lovely dance partner.
Hello, everybody. I am Carmo. Welcome back for another week.
Now, before we start, I think you should probably, kind of set things in stone here.
Yeah. I wasn't looking forward to this one, to be honest. But look, our guest is Mr. Chris Connolly. I know we haven't really seen eye to eye in the last couple of months, but for the next 60 minutes or however long it takes, I'm willing to be civil if you were.
Yeah. I mean, look, just keep little snide comments from Mark. See, there's a very common misconception here that I dislike Carmo. I don't. But he's an adult and he needs to learn that actions have consequences. And if he wants to run his mouth off at me, there's going to be consequences. So if you agree to be civil, I'm happy to be civil, because like I'm the victim here, because as a result of this, Martin now has to be my favorite of the FiveMarks. Do you have any idea what kind of life that is when Martin's your favorite?
Yeah, I have a fair idea, really. I have a fair idea. We can agree on that anyway. But yeah,
I'm moving up in the world.
Not the same page.
Well, listen, first off, we are delighted to have you on, Chris. Thank you so much for taking time out of your day. I'm sure you and Riordan have a extremely busy schedule.
Well, I mean, I'm flying out to Philly tomorrow, so yeah. You should be grateful I'm taking time out of my schedule to chat with you.
So we'll talk about WrestleMania as well a bit later on, but let's start things off the way we start every interview off. As you can see, I'm absolutely terrified talking to this big guy. Look, we ask everybody about their first wrestling memories because, some people remember, some people don't, and some have absolutely brilliant answers. So, for you, can you, what's the first memory that comes to your mind about wrestling?
It's kind of an awkward one, right? Because I genuinely can, and it sounds like such a wanky answer, but I genuinely can't remember a time where I wasn't watching wrestling. In my head, my first memories I remember coming back from a family holiday. I know I'm probably older than most wrestlers you interview on this fucking thing. I'm in my 30s. But I remember coming back on the ferry from being on a family holiday in England, and getting home, and I've an aunt who used to live around the corner from me, and I'd always be down in her house, and they were the ones who were watching wrestling, so that would have kind of been where I would have got into it. And I remember coming home and they were like, "Oh, you never guess we're after getting SummerSlam 91, which one was the match made in heaven, match made in hell, not the UK. It was 92 was London, wasn't it? So it would have been 91.
It was London, yeah.
So it was 91, and they were like, "Oh, we've got SummerSlam 91 on deep on video now," because I am that old. And I was like, oh my god, I'm so excited. And so obviously I was aware of wrestling, I was aware of SummerSlam, and I can remember as well being 3 and everyone telling me that I used to do the Legion of Doom, Hawk, oh what a rush. They're like, "Oh, do you remember when you used to do that?" And I was like, I genuinely don't know, but apparently it was a thing I used to always do. So yeah, that is genuinely just as long as I have memory, I've been watching wrestling.
And what do you think it was then that kind of drew you into it? Was it kind of the larger than life characters? Was it the whole kind of show itself?
I genuinely couldn't tell you because I was that young. I'm guessing all of that. Yeah, it has to have been. But like I said, I'd have been down my aunt's a lot of time now when my mother was in work or whatever. She'd be minding me, and they'd have all the videos and stuff. So I would have just been watching it because they were into it, and I mean, like, mad lads with painted faces and spiky things. If you want to talk about LOD, or like, yeah, all of like the massive characters and the colors and the bright lights and all that just definitely must have got me intrigued into it. But like I said, I can't give you a concrete answer because I've just been genuinely doing it as long as I can remember.
So growing up, then, like, who would have been the people you really gravitated towards?
Uh, so Bret Hart was my guy. Um, yeah, it was my absolute hero growing up. I got to meet him back in 2019 in when he came to Cork. And just got to chat shit with him, and that was amazing. Would have definitely been Brett. Legion of Doom would have been big team for me. Going like Ahmed Johnson, who, like, is a blip no one really remembers, but I just remember the phase where he was my favorite, and then obviously you get into the Attitude Era, and it's Stone Cold, it's The Rock. But the one thing I kind of have that separates me from everyone else, I think, was so generally like everyone else growing up in the Attitude Era, it's like Stone Cold, and Stone Cold is one, Rock is one A, but I'd like one B, which was Rikishi.
Love
Oh,
it. Yeah.
That was my guy. I absolutely love Rikishi. And as a result of that, now I love the Usos. I love Solo Sikoa. A lot of inspiration when I'm wrestling is coming from the Samoans. I'm like my trying to make my gimmick just being the world's palest Samoan.
it's working. It's working.
Yeah,
Just get
yeah.
the sleeve and all, like the tattoo and all that stuff, and you're good to go.
See, I've got too much respect for the culture to be one of those wanky white guys with a tribal tattoo. But if I was cool enough to pull it off, I 100% would.
Get a Celtic version or something like that.
I get
Like,
that
I'm
option.
gonna
Yeah.
ask you because you're going to Philly, okay? Because it's such, like, some people hate it now, some people love it now. The Roman Reigns, how many days are we on now? 3,000 or something? I don't know how.
1,400 and something, I
Where
think.
where do you stand with that? Because I'm still enjoying every moment of it. We had Lana Banana last week, who just despises the whole thing now. Where do you stand?
Um, I want to acknowledge.
Please tell me that's
I-
Roman Reigns and not Rob Gold.
oh, absolutely,
Oh,
absolutely
thank
wrong.
God. Oh,
Absolutely. No, like, I don't. I kind of said this because I was at Mania as well last year. Fun fact: you can see me in a Hard Knocks t-shirt on night one.
oh, really?
Yeah, yeah. If you in the whatever match EO Sky was in, I think wasn't
It
that
was the one with
Damage Control
Lita.
against
Yeah.
Becky and Lita and Trish. If you look hard enough, you will see me wearing my Hard Knocks t-shirt in that match. Um, so yeah, I was at Mania last year when Roman won. I didn't have a problem with it. Like, equally, if Cody had won last year, I wasn't gonna have a problem with it.
Yeah.
It's like absolutely see how it makes sense. But when Roman won, I had a big pop. Everyone else around me had a big pop. I wasn't aware that I'd magically seen the worst WrestleMania ever until I came home, and like I remember it was like we got back to Manhattan Beach where we were staying, and it's like 12 o'clock at night, where you get to this 24-hour diner, and it's just full of people who are obviously at WrestleMania. Like, I just remember like walking past this one table, and just the one guy like fucking, fucking Cody should have won. This is a load of bullshit. I'm like, fuck off. Like, you've clearly just gone on Twitter and formulated this opinion, because like I heard no one giving out in the stadium. Um, but then yeah, the more and more I saw it I remember like myself and my buddy who we were at with it, we're back at the hotel on a fucking high, and I'm scrolling through Twitter. I'm like, huh, well, apparently we just saw what's the worst WrestleMania ever because of that one thing. And he's like, no, we fucking didn't. I was like, I know, so I don't have a problem with it. My OCD was really happy Roman won, because I felt like he was at like 900 and something at that time. I was like, being that close to 1,000 and not just hitting 1,000 would really fucking wreck my head. So when he got to 1,000, I was like, all right, I'm fine with that. Anything after that now, I'm okay with. I've very much taken the approach now of avoid listening to people on Twitter
Yeah.
and enjoying what's put in front of me. And honestly, I love fucking like Money in the Bank. Um, the only thing I didn't like of this whole thing is just Jimmy leaving and then him just immediately going back.
Yeah, I can take. Yeah,
That's the only thing. Like, in the sense of him costing Jay, I can understand because you got the whole jealous brother thing. That I'm totally fine with. But I don't get why Jimmy just went immediately back into the bloodline with like no questions asked. I was like, that was a bit shit. Everything else, I'm 100% there for. If, when, whatever, Cody wins at on Sunday, I'm gonna be fine with it. Honestly, I didn't like either just The Rock. When it was like The Rock Roman, I was like, you can't not have it be Cody. You can't have him win the Rumble and then not have him. Like if they did, like I was like, if they do Rock Roman on night one and then Roman whatever, but yeah, then that's absolutely fine. I get to see the fucking Rock. That's blowing my fucking mind. Um, but yeah, so that like I didn't like Rock coming in place of Cody, but had they done like Roman Rock night one, I'd have been happy with that. But yeah, I think it's gotta be Cody. Whether or not he wins or loses, I'm not going to get into, but.
I know we like. I'm very much as well ignore the Twitter shit and all that stuff, but I have to because like you were saying there, like, getting to see The Rock, like what the fuck. If rumors are true, and Cody has 2 extra hands of help,
Yeah.
will you literally be like, yeah, lads, I'm going home. I could die happy.
Honestly, if I just heard the glass break in an unrelated, like in my head, like I ignore Twitter, but I still do that thing in my head where like, oh my God, imagine if this
Yeah.
happens and imagine if that happens. And one thing that did come into my head is like, oh man, imagine if just like Austin comes out and like this is before he was magically on a lorry that you know has led to this rumor. I was like, if he just came out and just stunned The Rock, I'd just go home. That's it. I've completed wrestling. It's over. I don't need to watch anymore.
I'm done. That's it, lads. See you
But
later.
honestly, as long as I hear the glass smash at some point, even if it's like at WrestleMania 30 where he just comes out and waves, I don't care. I just want to not be expecting it. And I've really had to go out of my way to like not click on like fucking cultaholic links where it's like plans for Austin. I mean, it's like, no, I don't want to know because I want it to literally be surprised and then music and pop because like it is amazing. Like when I got it with like Shane McMahon last year, even that was a huge pop because just when you're not expecting it and suddenly the music fucking hits and you're like, oh, I know who that is.
Yeah.
You just have that big fuck off moment and then that just went on to becoming like the like most amazing segment ever. When he fucking cripples himself and then Snoop Dogg has to come
Fucks
in and make
himself
It's
up, and
mad.
Snoop Dogg's like, all right, time to do something.
Yeah, apologies as well if you can hear my dog in the background.
You're all good.
Yeah, it was just amazing. I was like, the worst elbow I've ever seen where I was just like, that's right on the point, driven right down. I was like, that's going to be awful.
What's the like this whole Philly trip now? What's the one thing you look forward to the most?
What's the one thing I'm what? Sorry.
Looking forward to the most.
Uh, probably probably going to see The Rock. Because like we're not doing much else outside of Mania. Whereas like last year we did like WrestleCon, we did Ring of Honor on the Friday. So I got to meet Rikishi. I went to WrestleCon, I took pictures with 2 people. Or paid for pictures with 2 people. I basically treated WrestleCon like a zoo, just going around the place being like, oh look, there's Goldberg. There's fucking Ric Flair, there's whoever. But there was just 2 people I went out of my way to get pictures with. And it was The Acclaimed and Rikishi.
Nice.
I can just picture like, there's Goldberg. I'm gonna poke him.
No, just genuinely, just like you just have that moment of just being like, oh yeah, like Ric Flair was the best one because there was this like ridiculous queue. It came out of the room he was in, went like halfway down the fucking hall, and we just basically kind of walked in, like we're like, what the fuck is this queue for? And like we didn't join the queue, we just kind of like followed it along and went all the way up to the front. We're just like, oh yeah, Ric Flair, there he is, cool, and just like, oh, we fucked then, like.
It's hilarious. I did the same thing at I went to 34. I did the same thing. I was like, oh, there's the Bellas. There's that FTR. Fucking sprinting the FTR's fucking line. And then got out of their line. I was like, oh, Drake Maverick has like fucking nobody. I'm gonna go fucking meet Drake Maverick. Why the fuck not? Met 2 lines, and that was it.
Yeah, I was the same. Now I kind of felt I I felt bad because when we were in line for the Acclaimed had this big fuck off line, and then next to the Acclaimed was Billy Gunn, and then next to them were the Guns, and no one was queuing for the Guns to the point that they were then going along and trying to poach people off the Acclaimed line.
Jesus.
Please come meet us.
Yeah, you don't want to give them your money, give us the money instead. And to be fair, the lads were messing, and they were like just like firing stuff back at each other. It was good crack. But yeah, like this year we're doing none of that really. It's pretty much just Mania night 1, night 2. I would have loved to have gone to the Progress show. That's on Friday. But what I'm actually doing is, so tomorrow I'm flying into New York because I've got the buddy who I went to Mania with last year is living in New York now. So we're doing a few days in New York, and then we get the train to Philly on Friday, and it gets in at 2:30, and that fucking Progress show is 3. So like realistically, I'm not going to get to it. But like, I'd have loved to go to that just because just so many of the people I know now are on it. You know, Gene Money, Rio, Martina, man like Derice. Although Martina probably isn't going to be too happy to see me at the moment, but it would have just been nice to just kind of go and support the lads.
Yeah. What about like stand and deliver and stuff?
This is the annoying thing when I'm going with like the two lads I'm going with. One is a wrestling fan. That's a fellow living in New York. There's another buddy coming with me from here who's a very, very, very passive wrestling fan. Like he understands he's going to WrestleMania. He's excited. He can't wait to shout "whoa" when Cody Rhodes music plays. But he wouldn't be a mad wrestling fan. So I pitched the idea a few times of stand and deliver, but it's not got much traction. So I probably won't get the hit to that.
Happens, I suppose. Is it a bit surreal kind of looking at that Mania weekend and seeing the likes of Martina and Rio and those kind of people that you've wrestled with, been in the ring with, and kind of shared the locker room with, being there for that weekend?
It's not mad to see them there because they're all fucking amazing and they deserve to be there, and like so that part isn't mad to me. What is mad to me is the fact that I get to share locker rooms and rings with them. Like I genuinely, like, part of me wants to kind of mainly wanted to go to that Progress show just so I could be sat with like my buddies being like, oh yeah, I know that person.
I was in the room with that person.
Yeah. That one, yeah, that they hate me now.
See that one there? I got that one to beat up that one to join my group.
Yeah. You know, yeah. I was about to give that one a razor's edge. You were right. Yeah. But yeah,
is that one of your goals, to be kind of brought over for many weekends to wrestle on the show?
Honestly, no, it's not a goal of mine. Because I'm 33. No, don't get me wrong. Like, I've had people kind of saying to me, look, as you're going to be over there, would you not just fire around some messages to some lads and just be like, hey, would you like an Irish guy on your show? You know, I'm big, I'm nasty, all the rest of it. So like, it's not a goal of mine. And people are saying, look, oh, you should be doing this. I'm like, you know, I'm all right. I just want to kind of go over and enjoy Mania with my friends. If I go to another Mania in the future, could I end up doing that? Absolutely. But no, my goal, I'm a big thing about being realistic with my goals, and all of my goals are pretty much exclusively in the island of Ireland. Now, obviously, I do want, if while I'm over there, someone's like, "Hey, do you want to be on the show?" Absolutely, I do. I've got aspirations and that to like wrestle in the UK and around Europe if the opportunity arises. But like, they're those things to me are the cherry on top. My goal is very much just to do things in Ireland because that's what I feel is the whole fucking, if you want to do smart goals, that's what I feel is the achievable, realistic things for me.
So, like, obviously, we'll talk about goals and stuff like that because that's kind of like stuff around like the time now. Let's take it back a bit. So, like, what is it that actually kind of made you go, I want to do this?
There's kind of two main factors in it, and it's kind of I'm probably gonna bring down the podcast a little bit, but I'll get it back on track. Which is, so I used to go to all the Cork shows, like I was at the very, very first CCW show. I didn't go to CCW religiously, but I went to a lot of them. And then I went to pretty much every. I don't think there was a Phoenix show in Cork I missed. And by the time RCW came around, I was starting rested. So like every time I'd be there watching it, I'd be like, oh, fucking hell, like I could do this. I could do this because like I am quite sporty. I think the whole thing people are surprised the most when they see me is just that like I can move pretty quick. People don't really expect it. I'm pretty agile. Like I'm playing rugby all my life, football and stuff like that. So I'm a bit more athletic than people expect when they see me. So I was like, man, I could definitely fucking do this. I could definitely do this. But there was always kind of something in the way, like I wasn't driving, and like I knew where the training schools were and would work, and that I could never really make it. And then during COVID, my mother passed away. See, this is where I'm going to bring it down. And I just needed a fucking something to get me out of the house. And I think because I started in around 2020, just when lockdown one was kind of ending. And Phoenix did an open day. And I actually used to do this little radio show thing. And we used to get on like Bedlam and Marion Armstrong in. So I'd kind of built up a relationship with them. And obviously again from going to all the shows and that, you know, you'd kind of develop a relationship. And I just wanted to get out of the house, and I remember kind of like messaging Bedlam at the time, and he was like, "Well, you know, look, there's an opening day," and it was funny. I hummed and hawed, and I was like, "Well, look, you want to get out of the fucking house? You're now driving. You've like any excuse that you had is now gone, and you know, do you want to do it?" And I was like, "Oh, should I? Should I? Should I?" Because I felt really awkward then because I was a fan for so long, and I was a loud and obnoxious fan, much like because I'm a loud and obnoxious person in general. So I was like, I don't know, do I kind of really want to walk into a training school where people have been calling a cunt for like 3 years now. So um I was a bit apprehensive. And then like the day filled, and I was like, all right, well, look, the day's filled, I kind of missed the opportunity. But I have to go down on the day anyway because my buddy was the health and safety officer that they now needed because of COVID and with social distancing, yada yada yada. So he was the safety officer. So he was like, "Can you just come down anyway and help me put up signage and shit?" So I was like, "Yeah, no bother." And I kind of get there, and I'm in like these like my little chino shorts because it's in the summer, and I bet him like, "Well, you training or what?" I was like, "Well, I didn't sign up, and you said it was full, so I didn't want to." He's like, "Oh, get in there." I was like, "I'm not rolling around in my little chino shorts." He's like, "All right, fuck it, come down Wednesday." And I was like, "Cool." So yeah, I came down Wednesday, and here ever since. So partly motivated by as I say, just the mother passing, wanting to get out of the house. Partly motivated by like it was all something I thought I could do, and I actually a key part of that I left out was there was someone, I'm not going to name names, but I saw someone on like a start like appear on a show where I was like, oh fuck off, if they're fucking doing it, no, like I fucking I have to do it, like, because no, I'm not having that, like so yeah, just that, yeah, that was the things, couple of different things. One thing I'll give a shout out though is to Bedlam for a kind of just being the one to kind of nudge me, but also I don't know, do I start at 30? Because that's what age I was when I did my first training session. I was 30. I don't know, do I start at 30 if I don't hear the story of Bedlam starting at 35? So that was kind of a little motivational boost to me. Um, so I had that kind of knowledge that look, I wasn't too old to start. Um, had the motivation of seeing that person who like shouldn't, who was like, oh, I could definitely do this better than them. And the motivation just to get out of the house and do something to distract myself. So all three of those things kind of combined into a perfect storm.
It's
Very
well,
sorry to hear about your mother, of course, but it's nice to hear.
You kill her?
No, no, absolutely
No,
not.
you don't have to apologize
Absolutely
then.
not. But it's very nice to hear of, I saw someone in a bad situation where something bad has happened and been able to turn it into something so good to where you are at the moment. You know, that kind of, which is amazing to hear. Like,
Yeah, no, look, it was a big motivational thing. Uh, Yeah, look, it's a nice positive to take. It's a nice way to look at it. But yeah, it was just one of those things.
One thing I want to point out as well, like Dave Batista was also, I think he was either early 30s or like 30 when he started, and DDP, if I could be very wrong, he was either late
He's
30s
40.
or 40
40, yeah.
when
Oh
he
yeah, yeah.
started.
I've learned there's a bunch of other. Yeah,
Yeah.
someone kind of said to me like DDP's a big one at like 40. So
For
yeah,
Robbie Mack was 53 when he started. Like,
yeah, but he's cat.
I thought he was like 70.
no one has records of his birth.
Oh, so what the fuck are you doing being mean? Like, I'm the fucking one supposed to be mean to that dickhead.
I know, yeah. I'm running a message.
It's Robbie Mack. Everyone can be mean to Robbie Mack.
Exactly.
It's so easy to do.
But I want to ask about the first training day. Because we asked this to all the lads. Do you remember your first bump and how did that feel taking it?
Yes, I do remember it, and I think I might be really weird in this, or I'm really privileged, one or the other. The Phoenix Ring, is amazing, or was amazing. It's now still a show used at RCW on for shows and that. And that I've always been told that that ring is really, really good. So I remember taking my first bump, and it did not suck at all. I was like, bang, I'm fine. I can remember taking it. It didn't bother me. What the first time I ever kind of went, oh, that's what people have been telling me about, was when my first bump in the Hard Knox ring, because that was obviously a brand new ring. The Phoenix ring had the advantage of being broken in by the time I took my first bump on it. I took my first bump in the Hard Knox ring, and obviously because we had to wait a while for him to get the ring, I hadn't bumped in a while, and then I took that bump, and that was the first one. I was like, bang! Oh, that's what people have been telling me. Okay, yeah, that one sucks.
I would love to have seen you in that day. Just, you've done this fucking plenty of times. Watch this. Bam! Oh, you fucking prick.
That's alarmingly close to pretty much what happened. There was like, careful now, it needs to be broken in. It's a bit stiff. I'm like, yeah, bumped. Oh Christ! I just literally had that moment where I was just lying there like, oh, I get it now.
I'm actually going to bring back an old question of yours, Carmo, because I feel like we need to be asking this one more as well. Is there something that you found difficult to kind of pick up and learn? Like we've had people say running the ropes was the hardest things. People footwork, you know. Was there anything that kind of took you a bit longer?
I'm trying to just not give an answer that makes me sound like an egotistical prick, but like,
Everyone says this and then they go, sure, like nothing really.
no,
We've had a
but
few
no,
people
but
do it.
I'm trying to think because there is I'm not like there was stuff I'm not good at, and I probably am still working on it. I think but it's the not cool stuff like bumps, rolls, talking. I was fine. Like I remember getting like complimented on it. Like because the first class you do a promo and stuff, and I was like, yeah, fine, I can talk. I'm a bit of an extrovert. So I've done like presentations and stuff. I'm quite comfortable. I did my mother's eulogy without ever actually writing anything. I just went up and talked because that was the way I wanted to do it. So I've always been comfortable. It's the boring, not necessarily boring stuff, but like it's probably not the fun answer to having a thing like this is footwork. I think is something that was a big thing for me. And honestly, slowing down because and like that's a big one for me is that in my head, like when I'm running the ropes or doing like a drill in training, I still kind of have that like mindset from playing sport where it's like, if you've got to run, you run as fast as you can. Whereas it's better to have a nice steady cadence with stuff, and just like generally the little in between bits. They're the big things that I still have to work on. More so than any of the big board, like the boring stuff like bumping, rolling. I pretty much got very quickly, just because either lack of consideration or concern for my body, or just years of playing sport. I was kind of adept at most things. So yeah, it's the little kind of not fun answers, the footwork, the slowing down and taking a minute, and if I've got to hit the ropes, I don't have to sprint necessarily. I can go like at a nice steady pace that gives the person in the middle time to do their bits.
Here's a question for you, and it might be a chance to put in a snide remark. You were there for my first couple of bumps.
Yeah,
How did I bump?
you like a lot of people doing their first time. You can see the cogs turning. In fact, I could be wrong, but I believe, am I the first person you ever bumped?
Yes. Yeah.
See, there you go.
Yeah.
That's where the anger comes from.
Ever since that day.
Yeah. He took me down. I was like, that motherfucker. No,
He's being polite. I didn't.
No, you did well. Like all I ever ask of anyone doing their first bump is to just go for it and commit, and you did that. Was it the cleanest, most snappiest, perfect picture one? No, it wasn't. But mine wasn't either. No one tends to do the, unless you're Galaccini, who's a prick.
Nothing
does everything
perfect.
does everything right first time. But for no, like it was good. It was good. I can't fault it. As long as you commit to it, which you did, I won't fault it. But you can see every little bit of it playing in your head just beforehand. Because you'll get like 3 instructions, and you can just see your brain going, this. Okay, right, cool. Okay, this, right. Yep, cool, right. This, go.
It's the maddest thing in the world, look, is you don't actually think about it until you're doing it. It's like, right, I have to somehow fall on my back and so hope to God that I'm okay. But it's not something you do every day. It's like standing outside in the garden, you're going to go, John, I'm going to do, I'm going to fall.
Yeah. Yeah, again, I don't know. I genuinely don't know. I was able to just going to be like, yep, cool, and bam. Again, I don't know, was it maybe from rugby, you a lot of times get involuntarily put on your back. So maybe just like, well, I know what it feels like to get, freaking put on my back, so I'm all right with it. But yeah, just or else I'm just stupid, one or the other. I didn't have the hesitation at the start where I'm like, okay, right, this is not a normal thing for anyone to do. No one ever just, as you said, kind of standing there around the place, just doing nothing and just, you know what I'm going to do for the crack? And I'm gone. No one does that. So, yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'm just fucking stupid. Maybe I had the tolerance, but no. Chat to someone else who's there my first training session, they might easily turn on and go, no, you fucking absolutely did. But in my head, I didn't.
You were froze for like 10 seconds, but your head was like 2.2 seconds.
Yeah.
How long after you started training then did you have your first match?
Well, I kind of got fucked over in that sense because lockdowns. So, like, my first training session, I think, was September 2020 or end of August 2020. And then my first match was May 2022. Yeah, May 2022. In a little gym show in Limerick we did. So like so that is what nearly 2 years, but like there was pretty much, we did a month of training in September, a month of training in December, and then nothing until like fucking, I honestly can't even remember when we restarted. I think it might have been like August or September 2021. I honestly cannot remember. That's just part of my life. That is just, the classic lockdown. Every day was the same. That may have been March, that may have been September. I could not tell you. But it definitely was later in the year. I think it might have been around August 2021 every open. So we'd say about 6-7 months all in, maybe. Don't quote me on it.
And I know like this was like a little, like, I know the gym show you're talking about. Was there any nerves kind of going into it? Because like this is something where like there isn't too much, we'll say, of a crowd. It's more peers and a few other extra people that might have been there. Was there kind of nerves going into that first match?
Oh yeah. That could have been an empty room, and I'd have still been shitting myself. It's your first match, you know what I mean? It's a nerve-wracking experience. So I'm not going to sit here and say that it wasn't. One thing I find really funny, I don't know if any of you were necessarily at the show, but you know what entrance song I came out to on that day?
I do, yeah, I do.
I don't.
Why can't we? Yeah. Clever.
Stories write themselves.
Right? So yeah. Yeah, oh yeah, like first match, fucking you're bricking yourself. but it went very well, or at least I think it went very well. In my head, it went very well. And the things I was nervous about ended up. The thing was like, oh man, I'm going to struggle massively to do this. I didn't. And against the other little things I maybe didn't think of, but yeah, going into it, it's terrifying. But like, once my music hit, I was ready to go, and I was pretty happy with how it went. But yeah, in the initial thing, like you got the fucking jelly legs, the butterflies, the whole shebang.
Coming out of it then, coming out of that match, when you get back behind the curtain, I suppose does it will. Is it just pure relief just to have that match over? Or is there still that bit of excitement to kind of go, okay, I want to do another one. I want to do another one.
Oh man, yeah, no, 100% wanted to do another one. Wanted to do another one, like fucking once the bell rang to end the match, I was like, when's my next one? When's my next one? Because it is just that fucking like exhilarating feeling. So yeah, there was a big drive to want to do another one, but at the same time, just the way my brain is, I'm fairly competitive with myself, or fairly self-critical. So I think like once that match ended, I'm like, oh well, if I did this and I could have done this a little bit better, and I zigged when I should have zagged, and this when I should have did that, and so you kind of critique yourself like, or I critiqued myself like that, but like no, just there was no doubt in my mind that once I had my first one, I was like, yep, this fucking feels as class as I thought it would, and I just want to fucking just keep going with it. And I'm like, I was absolutely hooked. I've seen people have one match and be like, that right, I've had a match. That's the thing off the bucket list, and I'm happy, and they walk away. I can't understand that at all. I'm like, I'm hooked. Like I want to fucking keep doing this and just keep going for as long as my body or other people will allow me.
So what he did was he went out of that ring, grabbed Robbie Mack, and just tossed him over to the fucking toilets.
We get to that later on.
think Robbie Mack was around at that point.
Oh, what a glorious time!
I want to talk about your first Phoenix match because, as you've obviously mentioned earlier, you've been such a Cork wrestling fan. You've been to most CCW shows and nearly every Phoenix show. To finally get on a Phoenix show and be a part of that crowd, how was that for you?
Oh, it couldn't have been any better. Because if you want, like, so I did two of those gym shows first in the gym in what is now the Hard Knox gym in Limerick. I did two matches in there. They were my first two matches. But like my first, we'll say Phoenix match was a main show match, or sorry, a pre-show match for the what was ended up being the last Phoenix show. The fucking name of it escapes me, which is annoying me.
I'll be able to get it there.
But
Crazy,
like,
it was the last show.
oh, it was the anniversary show. I think it was just literally fuck's sake, not another anniversary show.
That's exactly what it was.
Yeah. So we were in the big man shit, the tag team we was in at the time. Me and Ace Andrews it was big man shit versus Mr. Charlie and MJ Chef versus the Hallions from Titanic versus AJ Scraggs and Francis Mercer. And we got to do a little format or four team match before that show. And it was fucking amazing. So like as I said, I went to every Phoenix show that was in Cork, and I think I only missed one or two Limerick ones. So massive Phoenix fan, and like so all of these shows I've been going to, as well as a lot of the CCW ones, have been in the Kino. So I was very much in the mindset of like, but at that point, like the Kino had been closed and whatever, you know. So like I was like, all right, whatever. But like, if someone had told me you're going to wrestle in the Kino, that's because that to me was the home of Cork wrestling. And to be honest, now the Pav has absolutely blown it out of the water. Fuck the Kano Minis. No, it still holds a special place to me, but the Pav is way better for a multitude of reasons. But I was like, oh man, I would have like all these shows I would have gone to seen in the Kino. Oh, I would have loved to have been at one. And then kind of I was chatting with Bedlam, and he was like, yeah, look, there's something in the works. You know, I'm not saying anything, but maybe there's a return somewhere. And I was like, I was excited just to see a show in the Kino again. And I could not wait to fucking be like part of the crew and help put in the ring and all this other shit. And then next thing I get told, you're on the pre-show, and I'm like, I get to do like an entrance in the Kino, and I get to be in like a match in the Kino, and that was honestly so special for me. Um, and I ended up getting to it a bunch more times, which is amazing. So yeah, like that's my main memory, just like how psyched I was that like this place I've gone to so many times as a fan. My friends now get to come and see me as like the buddies who I used to go to the wrestling with are there getting to watch me on the show, and just a whole other bunch of buddies who just came along to see what the crack is. And just like to get to make the entrance, to get to hit your poses and all the rest of the keynote. Yeah, it's just fucking incredible. Like it it was a bucket list thing that I didn't even think I was ever going to get. So like I never expected to do a show in the keynote. So I was like, it was never like a goal or whatever I had to do a show, but the fact that I get to do one is fucking amazing. Got to do one is amazing to me.
Absolutely. And I want to ask then after that, because obviously Phoenix, as you said, that was the last show they shut down. So we went from having constant wrestling Cork and Limerick to now having nothing. How was that time for you when you kind of found out, okay, Phoenix is shut down? Where do I kind of go from here?
It was a worrying time because it's like, oh well, I've just got my foot in the door. I've just started to get on shows, and it's gone. Now what the fuck am I going to do? But like pretty early on, kind of, I was like, maybe I'll go up to Fight Factory once a month. But then, like, realistically, if I'm doing that, I'm not going to be training enough to be on shows. And there was only like about I would maybe say a week, if even that, where there was uncertainty, and then it kind of came to light pretty quickly that look, Steve was going to be doing something in Limerick anyway, so like the school was still going to be there in Limerick. I didn't necessarily know that Hard Knocks the promotion was going to be there, but I knew the school was going to be there, and I was like, okay, well, I could still do that. And then again, not long after that, we knew that Hard Knocks was going to be a thing. So it's kind of like that Simpsons thing, like, yeah, that was a scary couple of minutes. It didn't. There was a worry, and there was like, well, maybe I am done. I didn't want to be done. So I was kind of trying to evaluate what my next move would be, and before I even had time to make a decision, Hard Knocks was already in the works. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. I don't need to make a decision. I can just carry on business as usual, and I guess I'll just be on shows in Limerick rather than Cork. And then thankfully RCW came to be, and yeah, now it's better. There's more promotions there. I can work in Limerick, and I have worked in Limerick, and I can work in Cork, and everything's fucking coming up Millhouse.
The thing I like about it as well is that with RCW and Hard Knocks, you have two very different crowds. Like that Cork crowd is kind of very different to that Limerick crowd, so it gives you that kind of different atmosphere no matter where you go.
Yeah, which is kind of funny because I described the crowds as very similar in that they're not. I would say RCW is probably more of a wrestling crowd, but still not a very big wrestling crowd. Like there's a lot of there's more wrestling fans at RCW than Hard Knocks, but a lot of the crowd in both is just, this is fucking mad crack to do in a night out, and it's on your doorstep. So I'm gonna come along to this. I will say I think there's now in Cork, and I think Hard Knocks is probably getting this way, but it's not there yet. But between Phoenix and the rest of it, it was kind of built up in Cork that I think there's a lot of RCW fans who aren't wrestling fans, if you know what I mean. Like they'll go to every RCW show and they'll know everything that's going on in RCW. But like when you bring in someone like an Eric Young, I think there's a portion of that thing where like, oh yeah, your man there, he's wrestling cool, but Raven Creed's over there.
Yeah,
and like that's their, that's actually probably a bad example because Raven Creed is very largely famous outside of Cork as well. But like, you know what I mean? They're like, oh, there's a Matt Schuyler or whatever. That's the bigger deal than the fact that Eric Young is over there. So, and I think Hard Knocks is getting that way. I think you are just starting to see that repeat. People who are there every show who like probably don't even know that WrestleMania is this weekend, but they can tell you that Hard Knocks is going to be in Dolan's on April 28th.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah. Like, the thing is as well, like I feel like the Hard Knocks crowd is more kind of rowdy, whereas RCW are more like they watch what's going on. They're I feel like they're more engaged, whereas the people in Dolan's are more like, let's take the piss out of that fucking. I don't want to throw Rob under the bus again because I keep throwing him under the fucking bus, but I'm gonna take the piss out of him. Do you know? Whereas like the RCW crowd will chant and they'll have fun, but they're very engaged in what's going on.
Yeah, yeah, I think that would be a fair statement. But I think the Hard Knocks crowd will end up becoming what the RCW crowd is to an extent, in the sense of, again, the main difference I think is with, because as I said, like you've got the same people in both who are like, I'm not a wrestling fan, they don't know what WWE or AEW or TNA or whatever is. They're just like, this is mad crack to come and watch of a Sunday in Limerick. And I think they've kind of, and it was people like that in Cork, like, oh, I'm heading out on a Saturday night, what'll I do? Oh shit, there's a wrestling show. Jeez, I watched that back in the day in the Attitude Era, and like they've now been conditioned. They know what the show is. They know, right, I'm to call that person a prick and I'm to cheer that person. And I think in a few more shows, I think Hard Knocks will get like that as well. They're still going to be very rowdy, and you are right. They're like, you're liable to get anything shouted at you in Hard Knocks, which is a thing I love as well, just because it gives you a chance to interact and react. And I think it will keep that. I think the crowd is different, but I think they will kind of start coming, like the repeat RCW ones at this point have been conditioned to know what a wrestling show is. The Hard Knocks lads are still being conditioned.
That's actually it. That's actually a fair statement.
Absolutely, 100%. I'm actually going to hand this over to you, Martin, because I know you love to talk about it. We get to Hard Luck, where Chris, you make your big debut for Hard Knocks. Martin, take it away.
So, yeah, obviously Carmo said there you get your big moment at Hard Luck, but not only did you get your big moment, like, why are you making me throw him under the bus again? Mr. Robbie Mack. Mr. Robbie Mack also made his debut. Now, in this match, one of you got the shit kicked out of you, and within the first move, fucked up your leg. And the other person walked out the winner and the beast. What was it like? Because not only like was this Hard Knocks debut, this was the first sold out Hard Knocks show.
I'm not going to be so egotistical as to take credit for the fact that it was the first sold out Hard Knock show, because I was never even announced. But yeah, it was amazing because I've been working toward it, and I was kind of hoping to have been on the second one. Or not, no, it wasn't the second one, was it? Sorry, I think it was the first one in the year, because Hard Luck was in July, and there would have been an earlier show. The show before Hard Luck, I was hoping to have been on that one, and I wasn't, and I was very disappointed to not be on it, to be honest, and probably didn't necessarily take it the best way I could have, but like I kind of went and had a chat with Steve, because I was like, right, what do I need to do now? Because like I'm not happy I'm not on this show. So you tell me what I'm missing, because I'm very much proactive like that. I'm like, okay, you felt I wasn't ready and didn't merit being on that show, which is totally fine, because fucking, look, it's Hard Knocks management's decision, and if they think I'm not ready for Hard Knocks, then I'm not ready for Hard Knocks, and I can disagree with that all I want, but it's their decision, and I have to respect it. So I just went, all right, fine. You tell me what I need to work on, and I'm gonna fucking bust my ass and work on it. And they told me, and like, I just really went to work, and I was like, I'm gonna be on this next one, and God help anyone they put in front of me. And that's pretty much what happened. Is I just worked really hard to get on it, and to put in the work and see the reward is very gratifying. Because like you see the way again, like it's that whole thing of like, I wanted to fucking come out on that stage and make that walk to the ring and all the rest of it. So like I went very, very tunnel visioned on it, where I was like, I want to be on the show. I'm not accepting not being on the next show, so I'm going to do whatever the fuck it takes to be on that show. And that's pretty much what I did. And yeah, it's just, as I said, to make the debut, to see the reward of the effort is just fucking, was unbelievable. And just Robbie Mack was the poor unfortunate person they decided to put across the ring for me, but like whoever was across that ring for me did, that result was going to be the same.
Now, I have to ask, What goes into your leg day regime for someone to kick you in the leg and like in the first move and instantly just fuck up their leg?
Is that a product of my leg day regime, or is that a product of them being made of glass and very brittle? It's TBD, TBD.
True, true.
Honestly, like it's just years of playing sport rugby is just giving me the big meaty quads and peachy arse that is required to have a sturdy base. So yeah, it's just it's a little disappointing that in all the things I did to Robbie in that match, I did my best to maim him. I did my very best to cause him harm. And the thing that hurt him the most was the one thing he did himself. So that bugs me a little bit. That all the effort I made to hurt him, and he did a better job of harming himself.
I will say one thing though, whatever about the rest of the match, but that cross body that you hit him with, I was convinced he was dead. I thought it was over for Robbie Mack.
Yeah, yeah, that was I won't lie, that was a very satisfying moment. Because that was like the first thing where like I hit it and I literally heard everyone be like, "Oh!" Like you heard that collective intake. There was a smattering of applause, which I'm not entirely sure if that was down to just how impressive the move
Robbie
was,
Mack is dead. Let's go.
or just that. Yeah. I'm not sure it was one or the other, but there was just that moment where I was just like getting up, where I was like, "Yep, this match is mine now," because he's not recovering from that. So again, like anything else afterwards was just icing on the cake. But look, you got to give him credit, as low as I am to give him credit. If you're going to be dumb, you got to be tough, as the song says. And he was dumb enough to get in the ring, and he was tough enough to come back. Well, he's still on the shows. He's yet to get back in the ring. But
He's still got that injury.
he will.
He's still got that injury.
Yeah, and that sprained flap is just taking ages to get over.
Now, I want to, like, I know, Carmo, you're on a bit of a hard knocks at the moment. I want to kind of talk about RCW as well, because obviously we see you in RCW as well. We had Big Man Shit for a while. Then eventually, I believe it was Let's Go to Work or Hooked on a Feeling. You would have turned on Galacini, which was amazing. I enjoyed every moment of that. Like, bravo for that. But then the next time we saw you was in the match 3 of Raven Creed, Riordan O'Connor, where you came out and absolutely decimated Raven Creed. Now, I know Riordan kind of got a bit upset me beforehand because I said that technically you beat Raven Creed, but like, who kind of put this master plan together? Because we never got to talk about that because he left the call.
Well, look, I don't necessarily blame him leaving the call, because I think he were a bit disrespectful to him. Because to say that it is a question, That's why I'm not leaving the call, but it doesn't change the fact it's a disrespectful question. And I'll explain the reason why I feel it's disrespectful, right? Is because you implied that the reason Riordan won was down to me. Now, also, I want to touch on you saying I turned on Galacini. I'm going to come back to that in a second, right? Yeah. But you said that the reason Riordan won was down to me. And Martina said the same thing on Friday in RCW, that the reason he won is down to me. And it's not a true statement. Yes, I came out and I powerbombed Raven Creed, and that certainly was to his benefit. But why did I do that? Because Riordan is thinking 2 or 3 steps ahead of everyone else, and Riordan put in place the plan for me to do that. He came up to me, and I owe Riordan a lot that people don't realize. Like, I've been booked on shows thanks to Riordan. He's got me in with promotions and things like that. So we drive up and down to Limerick quite often. So there is a genuine friendship there, and I am indebted to the man. So when he comes to me going, I have a plan and I can help him, I'm going to help him. But like, the reason I think it's disrespectful to say that I'm the reason he won is because Riordan's the reason he won, because Riordan was the one who came to me with an idea and with a plan that he's prepared for every eventuality. He's playing 4D chess. So just because he was more prepared, like if you remember, right, Raven Creed choked him with the kendo stick.
Yeah.
If he didn't answer that 10 count, which he did because he's a tank, but if he didn't answer that 10 count, would you turn around to Raven Creed and be like, oh, well, you never would have beaten Raven without the kendo stick? No, you wouldn't. You just go, oh, look how smart Raven was to use the weapon to her advantage. Riordan O'Connor just happened to get a bigger weapon.
No, yeah, that's fair. That's fair statement.
So that's why I feel it's disrespectful for anyone, Martina, anyone, to say that, oh, no, well, Riordan wouldn't have won, but for me, no, Riordan won because he's smart enough to come up with a plan.
And you wanted to touch base on the Galacini situation.
Yeah. Again, it's a thing you said there, and people keep saying, and it bugs the shit out of me, that I turned on Galacini. I said something to Carmo there at the start of this podcast. And not having a go at Carmo, we've been perfectly civil, no beef here. But I said actions have consequences. Galacini did not give a shit about big man shit. He never cared about big man shit. He used us to his own advantage. If you look at go back, right? Hooked on a Feeling, by the way, is the show you're referring to where I turned on him. The show prior to that, it was the Good Friday show. Fuck's sake, where show names going on? So not the Messiah, he's a very naughty boy. That's just what Jesus said, sir. Go back and watch our entrance. It's our big moment. Big man shit is arriving at the main stage. We're about to face the Bearded Beauties, who just won the Tag Team Grand Prix, and we're about to be named off the back of that the RCW Tag Team Champions. And the very first thing you see, our music hits, let's go, and the first thing you see is Galacini and Axel come through the curtain. Go back and watch it. That is the first thing you will see. Your first memory is Galacini and Axel. He knew full well that the Step Hermanos were never going to beat the Bearded Beauties. They've since gone on to never beat the Bearded Beauties. So he had to go and find big man shit who could have and would have beaten them on that day. And he just used us as a platform to show off him and his little Spanish buddy, that's what he cared about. He never cared about us. We were an ends to a mean, or means to an end. And go back and then watch the end of that match. And what happens? Big man shit hits long, short drop, sudden stop on Butch. We have this match done. We go for the pin. What happens? Galacini, out of sheer ego, because he got embarrassed and cock-posted about 2 minutes earlier, decides to tag himself in. Ace had him pinned. Ace had him beat. He was on him for more than 3 seconds. We didn't win the match because Galacini had tagged himself in and then gets in the ring bragging about how he's about to win, but doesn't pin. And by the time he finally pins Butch, Butch has got enough semblance to know what's going on to kick out. And then Galacini proceeds to get pinned and loses that. And that's had massive repercussions. Have you seen Ace since then?
No.
Neither a fucking eye. He's gone off to live in the wilderness. I haven't seen him. No idea what he's doing. Hope he's well. So I'm now without a tag team partner, and the opportunity then comes in. One of us is getting a match on Hooked on a Feeling, and who gets the match against Anita Bond? Whose name got put down in that contract? Galacini. So again, I didn't turn on him. I just came to my senses and realized I was being used, which is an action, and that action has a consequence, which is he gets dropped. So again, this notion of me turning on him, I just don't accept.
Now, I do have to throw in, because I legally have to say this, Axel is from Limerick, not from Spain.
look,
He's a little like.
wherever he's from, I don't really care where he's from. I care about what he's done to wrong me, and look, I haven't forgotten about him either. But time and a place.
Carmo, I'll throw it over to you.
I want to move on to the moment, and I've been pretty excited to talk about this, where things got a little bit ropey between me and you. That was at the show, I believe it was the 1 year anniversary of Hard Knocks. I believe it might have been unmatched.
It was unmatched.
I think it was unmatched.
It was unmatched.
Where you decided to come out and put your hands on a few trainees, and that backfired really quick. How was that moment of laying in the ring after Robert Max after doing a moonsault on you?
I don't know how it felt to be laying in the ring. Because I don't think I was laying in the ring for very long. I think if you go back and watch the time in between me getting hit with a moonsault and me being on my feet running after Robbie Mack, probably a lot quicker than it would take you to do most things. So,
Fair.
So yeah, look, again, it was just another show that they decided not to put me on, and I just said I'd go out and just kind of remind people of just exactly who I am and what I can do. And it took four of them to get me down for that 1 second. And look, as I say, fair play to Robbie Mack. He got his he got his little moment. He can say he got his revenge. He got his clip to share on all of his socials 100 times. Did you know he can do a moonsault?
No idea.
I think he might have put up a video about it once. So yeah, look, he had the moment he was training all his life for to hit that. Like, credit where it's due. Crisp, picture perfect moonsault. I cannot fault him. The training was not wasted. That looked pretty as a picture, and I felt it. I certainly felt it. And it didn't feel nice, but it's going to take a lot more than that to keep me down, especially when I'm angry. So yeah, look, yeah, I got made to look silly. It's not my favorite Hard Knocks moment. But look, even a broken clock is right twice a day.
Carmo, can I ask you, why were you laughing and smiling there throughout that whole thing?
I'm just.
That's what I thought.
I want to go into another. I want to the RCW show. You come back, you maggot, where you entered into the RCW. You got.
I can't tell, right, if it's your internet is failing or you're just losing your gumption halfway through the question, but I didn't hear it, so I want to ask you to repeat it.
It was. I want to talk about another good moment.
So what's the good moment? Sorry, did
you win that rumble? Oh, you got eliminated. Oh yeah.
Yeah. How long are we into this? How long are we into this podcast?
An hour and 3 minutes.
You've managed to be civil for an hour and 3 minutes. Do you really want to like ruin all this good work? Because look, it's easy to be a keyboard warrior, but I will be face to face with you at some point. So really consider. But no, I didn't win the Rumble. How many times have you seen Big Show win a Royal Rumble? How many times have you seen Rikishi win a Royal Rumble? It's a curse of being as big and as strong as I am, is that when you go into a Royal Rumble, everyone else realizes that if they don't do something quickly, you're winning the match. So what happened? Everyone in the Rumble stopped what they were doing to make sure that I got eliminated, because they knew that if they didn't do that, the result was a formality. So no, I didn't win. And I believe in between me entering and going out, there was no one else eliminated. So yeah, you can have your stupid little smirk about the moment, but it's a as a hazard of the job of being a big guy. You know, if you go into a Rumble, you've got the target on your back, and yeah, they got me. Well done then.
I will give you credit there. It did take like 5 or 6 people to get you out. I will give you a bit of credit there.
Thank you. See, we can be civil and we can carry on through this.
Yeah.
and I would strongly feel it's to your benefit to keep it civil.
I'll try. Martin.
Yeah, so I'm gonna I apologize for him now, but I'm gonna move things on, and we're gonna kind of catch people up now in terms of, it's kind of like in terms of Hard Knocks and RCW, because obviously we know yourself and Riordan now are one unit, strong style, and the last Hard Knocks show. Well, first everyone thought it was just going to be another Chris Connolly absolutely plowing through somebody. When Monty came out, and obviously Riordan O'Connor came out.
Hang on. Carmo, did you feel that way when your buddy Monty came out?
Look, I'm a bit biased towards Monty. So, look, Martin, continue.
Obviously Riordan came out, it became a triple threat match. And obviously, again, I'm sure this goes down to Riordan O'Connor being 5 steps ahead of everybody. Where Monty thought it was a triple threat, realistically, it was set up as a 2-on-1 because you plowed through Monty, and then obviously it was the realization that, oh shit, Strong Style has arrived in Hard Knocks.
No, believe it or not, I was surprised as anyone else when Riordan's music hit. He came up with me. I thought he was just coming to support me. That was announced as an open challenge, so I didn't care who was getting put in front of me. I was gonna, and I think I said this in an interview or when I borrowed Carmo's mic. The last time that I just wanted a challenge, I wanted to see who had the gumption to step up to me. And so when Riordan's music hit, I was very confused. If you see me in the ring, I don't know what's going on. I'm not looking forward to it because, look, don't want to fight my friends. And only when I saw him up at that top rope did I truly get what was happening. Is that we're strong style. We're for life. We're never going to fight each other. So when I saw him up there, we had a little look, and that's all it took, and we knew what the story was. And yeah, because I'm not being funny. I don't need a second person to help me to beat Monty.
Carmo might disagree, but that's fair.
Well, Carmo can look at what happened before Riordan ever got involved. I believe I already had a pancaked Monty. So
once as well, unfortunately.
Yeah. So and again, I'm going to give Monty credit, the exact same credit I gave Robbie Mack. Monty knew how annoyed I was from the last show, and be it brave enough or stupid enough, willingly put himself forward to get in the ring with me on the immediate following show, which takes a lot of balls. So again, I'll give Monty that credit, but yeah, I like. I'm happy. Strong Style has now been established in Limerick, because there's tag team titles there to be won. Step Hermanos have not won them again, so look, Cork will come and do what Limerick can't, and it will get those titles out of Dublin.
And then obviously, you've spoke about it a good bit. The latest RCW show, Strong Style now has a +1. With the shock surprise to the crowd, Rio.
Yeah, right. How good is that? How good is that?
Huge addition.
Put that into perspective, right? That is, and again, I'm not going to put the qualifier of one of the best female wrestlers. No, that's one of the best wrestlers, regardless of gender, in UK, Europe, the world. That is the current ICW and Progress Women's Champion. Like that's the caliber of people that are in Strong Style. And like that's yeah, it's a big deal. It's a big deal. I like Rio's been in 3 RCW shows now?
Yeah.
And has absolutely made such a big name for herself in that time. Like, all right, first match against Raven did not go the way probably Rio wanted, or certainly the way that me or Riordan wanted. But look at what Raven had to do to beat her. Like she only beat Rio due to the luck of gravity. Because the two of them were knocked out. Raven just happened to fall on top of Rio to get the pin. We've then got what? The Queen of Irish Wrestling, the 15-year, or well, I don't think it's 15, sorry, that's probably a bit harsh on her. Vet, Katie Harvey, and Rio wins.
Brilliant.
And then on the
match.
most recent show, we've got Rio versus Anita Vaughan. Anita Vaughan, probably the biggest rising star in Irish wrestling at the moment, wrestling in a new country every other weekend, and loses to Rio in her hometown. Because Rio is just that good. That's not to slight Anita Vaughan or Katie Harvey. They are incredible wrestlers. Rio is better. And Strong Style's just going from strength to strength.
And I mean, like, I have to, again, was this something put together by yourself and Riordan, or was this just Rio saying, I'm gonna help you guys?
No, again, where like Riordan is constantly thinking steps and steps ahead. And look, we had a conversation about like, because look, trios are very much becoming a thing in RCW. You like look around, you've got the Saviors, you've got
More money, more problem.
More Money, More Problems, thank you. You've got the Good, the Boyd, and the Ugly. You've got a lot of like tag teams and that, like BDE, they've been down. There's a lot of trios there, and even like if Riordan is to go for or I should say when Riordan goes for the RCW title, like we're very aware of what happens when you face the Saviors. It's not just going to be Riordan versus Owen. It's going to be Riordan and me there to back him up because I'm with him through thick and thin. But we've then got to contend with Andy Steele and Anita Vaughan on the other side. So we're seeing all the trios coming in. We're aware that, look, in advance, because we've got to plan ahead, we need to have something in place for when we're going after the Saviors. So you got to start looking at who you want to bring in. And, like, look, there's wrestlers. I say this all the time, there's so many talented wrestlers in this country, so fucking many. And RCW attracts big names from the UK and European wrestling scene. So there's a lot of people to pick from. So like, who are we going to pick from? Am I going to bring in Monty? God no. Am I going to bring in Robbie Mack? God no. I will never again in my life have any dealings with Galacini.
That's valid.
So you got to look at it. Like, if you're going to bring in someone, you want to bring in someone of a standard, of a quality. You want to go for the very top. And like, when you look at the very, very top, that's there's a small percentage of wrestlers. Raven Creed probably isn't going to want anything to do with us. And to be honest, we also don't really want anything to do with her. And I mean, I said the top. We've pretty much established that, she's not on Riordan's level. So we got to look at people who are on our level, and the number one first round draft pick, the 1.01, is Rio all day long. So we go and we have a chat and we make our pitch, and we're all pretty much in agreement that we all want the same things, and this is going to be mutually beneficial for everyone. So yeah, it's pretty much a no-brainer.
So pretty much the future's looking bright for Strong Style.
It was always looking bright. It's now brighter. Yeah, like I mean, again, you've got the brains, the charisma, the vision of Riordan O'Connor. You've got the size and the strength of me, and you've got the intensity and ability of Rio. Who's stopping that?
Now, before we head into some audience questions, Carmo, is there anything you want to throw in or ask?
I want to kind of end it on a little bit of a nice note. How was it, I suppose, sharing your locker room and getting to talk to Eric Young?
Incredible. incredible. That's like that's probably been the biggest pinch me moment. So I'm not gonna lie, right? I am a wrestling fan, but I've n never been a big TNA guy. Not that I don't like TNA, but I'm kind of the same with AEW. I've always been very much been WWE. So obviously, and he had a great run in WWE. I mean, loved NXT, loved Sanity, everything he did there was amazing. So that, like, I will say that's where I would have always kept up with TNA through like Power Slam magazine, if you're old enough to remember that. Um, and then like through like Lords of Pain and like things like that. Like, I always read about what happened in TNA, but never watched it. So I knew who Eric Young was when he arrives. I knew it's a big deal in NXT, and then I get to watch that Sanity run, which is amazing. And then all of a sudden, I get to hear that he's gonna be in RCW, and he did a seminar in Fight Factory, which I went up to the night before, and so generous with his time. He literally said, "I'm gonna stay here until you kick me out." And that's exactly what he fucking did. There was like 5 or 6 people had to leave to catch the last bus. Like, someone had to come up to him and go, "It's like 11 o'clock. All right, come on, wind it in." And um, so generous with his time, so generous with his advice. And again, getting to sit there and chat with him, and like Mikey Moran, who does was it Bollocks? Just if he watches, fuck you, Mikey. Um, but he, takes the photos at all these shows. Got a great picture of me and Eric Young just sitting down talking, because, like I said, if you get the opportunity to sit under that learning tree, you're not gonna not take it. But that's been the biggest like pinch me surreal moment. Like, fucking Eric Young was in the ring singing Jingle Bells.
Yeah.
That's fucking amazing. So it's class, and look, but even like, again, it is amazing. But like, to sit down and learn from a Gene Money, a Rio, a fucking Mark Haskins, um, yeah, Eric Young is, look, probably the most well known name of those, and it's an amazing experience to get to sit down and learn from him. But every locker room I've been in, even like Jordan Oliver and stuff like that, there's people in every fucking locker room, and even like Irish wrestlers like a Sean Guinness, like an Owen Richards and anything. Like, there's people in every locker room to learn from. We are so lucky here in Ireland to, you know, probably I would say, outside of America, maybe Japan, I think it's the best indie scene. I think it's better than the British scene at the minute. There's just because Britain is bigger, there's more of it, but I think in terms of quality, it's America, Japan, Ireland.
100%.
After yours.
Any more questions there, Carmo?
No, I think we're good.
Perfect. So we have a few audience questions, which we'll get into. So first question, any plans of going for a title shot anytime soon?
Yeah, I mean, look, right now, and I think I said this in another interview, right now, Riordan is the priority, because Riordan has never held a title, and that's going to be the priority for now in RCW, certainly. But looking hard, Knox, as I said, there's 2 lovely tag titles there that need new challengers. So yeah, I could absolutely see Strong Style versus the Social Elite. I want that match. I want a title shot. I want to have gold around my waist. Um, in RCW, look, as I said, I'm gonna let Reardon's the man with the vision. I'm gonna let him see what he wants to do. If he wants us to go for the tag titles, we'll go for the tag titles. If he wants to go for the Rebel X or the RCW title, we're going to prioritize him going for that. Maybe he wants to go for the RCW and have me have the Rebel X, and we'll take the tag titles and we'll have all the gold. But yeah, I mean, unfortunately, as much as I feel I'm due him, title shots aren't down to me in terms of decisions. So the only thing I can do is just keep killing whoever they put in front of me until I get one.
Now I've been told I have to ask these questions. So the first question is, did you like Jet? Did you like that? Yeah.
I do. I do.
It was that was put down as a guaranteed pop, and it was a guaranteed pop.
Yeah, that was Andrew Byrne anyway, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not going to do it on camera the way you're supposed to say that, but yeah, no, that was a
I
good
tried
one.
my best. Just know that, Andrew. I tried my best.
Did he fucking voice know that he's the pure kind of word fucking?
No, yeah, he just like quotes.
That's a relief. That's a relief.
I have to go into why is the 026 more important than making the well great again?
Look, if you're not in the 026, you don't understand what the 026 is all about. But it's a vital part of life. It's the best, man. Yeah. It's second only to being in strong style. It like goes strong style 026, but it's a pretty sweet life.
Career goals for the rest of 2024.
A good one. Big one at the moment would be well, 'cause something people don't necessarily. It would be to be on a match in a PAV, because I have not actually had a match in the PAV myself yet.
The Rumble.
I mean, a Rumble is a
Yeah.
Rumble.
Okay. Yeah, that's fair.
That was a good match, that Rumble.
Yeah, it was
Shut Carol.
So again, when you got like what the second I got in the ring, that became like 10-on-1 or whatever it was. I want to have a match with 1-on-1 or tag or trio, because there is no three of us in strong style. So yeah, just to show what I can do in the path, because I've got to do it in the Kino, which was amazing. I'm getting to do it in Hard Knox, which I love, but I haven't been on a show I haven't had a match in the pub yet, and that's very much the goal.
I'm actually happy someone copped on to this. Did you ever finish that crossword?
Yes, of course I did. I'm a genius.
Now, I just want to say, not held responsible for any of the rest of these fan questions. If you guys are looking to die, just know you're going to die. First question, do you think Riordan is holding you back?
No, it's a fucking stupid question. Because again, right, just to go back, right, and give context as to exactly why that's a stupid fucking question. After Hooked on a Feeling, where I'm still fucked off at Galacini and I've just put him down, I did something stupid after that. I don't know if anyone remembers. I shoved over the GM of RCW. And then I'm not on the next show. And I wasn't called about being on the first one in the PAV. Who got me on that show in the PAV is Riordan O'Connor. So this notion that he's holding me back is fucking asinine. No, he is not. This is yet another, and again, even outside of RCW and outside of things in Hard Knocks, I have been on shows because of Riordan, because he has been known to vouch for me and go, hey, bring in this guy. So no, I owe things to Riordan. He's not holding me back.
We got a question in from Monty.
I'm surprised he's able to type.
Apparently he's able to type. He just asks, why can't we be friends?
Because he stole my entrance music, that's why.
And all of these ones, FiveMarks are not held responsible for Robbie.
Before you go into them, I will admit, right, Monty's a good man for a Simpsons reference. In another life, we could have been friends. If he denounces Carmo, then I'll consider it. But up until then, no, we ain't gonna be friends.
All these questions going forward all come from Robbie Mack's mouth. We're not held responsible for Robbie and Robbie's ways. We just have to ask the questions. Why are you such a prick?
Because I'm good at it.
Good answer.
Why are you picking on people smarter than you?
Because there's very few people bigger than me.
Why do you hate Monty?
Just look at him. Like, I don't hate him. Again, I don't hate him. As I said, good man for a Simpsons reference, which is always a way to get on my good side. But just look at him. That's a very punchable face. So yeah, no ill will. I had to make a statement. He was the guy who just happened to be in the ring. It didn't matter who was in the ring. That was going to happen. It's just a case of wrong time, wrong place. But he's now proceeded to follow me around and annoy me. And again, it's my big thing. Actions have consequences.
Speaking of actions have consequences, Robbie's probably going to die after this one. What did it feel like when you hit the best crossbody ever on Robbie Mack?
I would answer that question with a question. What did it feel like when you got killed by the best crossbody ever?
That one's actually a fan question. Sorry, by the way, that was from Rob Gold, not Robbie Mack. I read it wrong.
All right. So in that case, I will answer that. It like anytime you get to hit Robbie Mack is a good time. To get to absolutely go through him like a train. Pretty fucking sweet. Pretty fucking sweet. I'm not gonna lie.
And this last one is from Robbie Mack. Riordan is a goalie, and so is average size Chris.
It's a bit much for him to be commenting on anyone's size. That's also not a question, and he's a fucking idiot.
I would ask Robbie, like, please, leave the things for fans and stop trying to start fights. Carmo can only take so much.
This is supposed to be the GM of our show, and like this is the level of bias we're getting from him, where he can't let go of the fact that, like, look, I'm sorry he's been on the shelf since I put him there, but when he's this close to being medically cleared again, I really, really don't think fucking with me is the smart thing to do. What do you think, Carmo?
Leave well enough alone. That's what I say.
Good advice. Good advice.
But that's the questions we have. Again, Robbie Mack, please leave well enough alone and don't start fights on my podcast. But listen, Chris, thank you so much for coming on. Carmo, is there anything you want to add or say, or please don't start any fucking fights?
No, I don't think so. I think we were pretty simple.
Okay, thank God. Chris, this is the moment we give to everybody. You have as much time as you want. Plug whatever you want. Your own socials, shows coming up, whatever it is you want to plug. Time is yours.
Look, if anyone's not already following me on the socials, follow me on Instagram and Twitter at Chris Connolly PC. I might actually start tweeting again. Like, let's be honest, that's really gone to the fucking dogs.
Twitter has just gone to fucking shit. Just
fuck you, Elon. Outside of that, Hard Knox is going to be doing a show in the Black Rabbit on Sunday. Like, the Black Rabbit's going to be showing WrestleMania, and you get to fucking see a Hard Knock show. So you've got live wrestling followed by the biggest wrestling night of the year. So if I wasn't going to be in Philadelphia, that's where I would be. So everyone should go along to that. Then you've got Hard Knocks. They haven't announced the name of it, have they? I can't.
A collision course.
Collision course.
You announced it here in the podcast.
Yeah, sorry. Unlike Robbie, I was professional enough to not take phone calls on the podcast.
Thank you, by the way.
Yeah.
But Hard Knocks Collision Course on the 28th of April in Dolan's. Tickets, I think, are on sale, so go buy them, because that's going to be a banging show, as all Hard Knock shows are. And hopefully I will be on there maiming someone. Whoever is stupid enough to get in my way again. Hopefully we'll see strong style there. And the next RCW show is going to be June 15th in the PAV. Say hello to my little friend. Got a little bit of competition today, announced today. But fuck it, fuck Glasgow. It's a shithole. It's not even going to be at a castle. So fuck Clash at the Castle in the Hydro on June 15th. Come see wrestling live and in person in the PAV. Say hello to my little friends. Tickets are available, I think.
I think they're on sale now,
So say hello to my little friend, June 15th in the PAV, RCW. Come watch that, because, Clash at the Castle, that's going to be on the fucking look. Let's be honest, it's going to be a glorified house show. Okay, like you don't need to be a Clash at the Castle. Spoiler alert: Drew McIntyre is going to win whatever it fucking is. So fuck Clash at the Castle. Come June 15th, say hello to my little friend, RCW the Pav. 28th of April, Hard Knox Collision Course in Dolan's, and this Sunday go to the Black Rabbit if you are unfortunate enough to be in Limerick, or if you're not from Limerick, go to Limerick because look, it'll be good crack, and then you get to do the best part about being in Limerick if you're not from there, and that's to leave Limerick.
That's my favorite part.
So yeah, just those are the 3 shows. Hopefully I'll be on them all, murdering people, and yeah, just that's pretty much it for me.
Perfect. And as you said, look, live wrestling followed by WrestleMania. How fucking cool is that? Check it out. It's going to be a load of fun. Carmo's going to be there. I know that's probably going to stop you from going, but Carmo's going to be there.
Is this show going out this Saturday?
This is coming out on Saturday.
Just as well, I was about to say, if it's not, that's really wasted my time plugging that one. But if it is, yeah, tomorrow night, go to fucking Black Rabbit and come watch Hard Knocks, you cunts.
So, get down, watch some wrestling, then watch some more wrestling. It's going to be a fucking time. And you might be watching wrestling with fucking wrestlers. That's class. That's absolutely fucking class. Carmo.
Let's do it. Chris, it's been a pleasure talking to you. It's been a nice conversation. You're still a prick, but thanks for coming.
Was there a need right at the end?
Maybe a small bit. Maybe.
Do you know what? The next time I see you, Carmo, you're going to be ding, ding, dong.